Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. You know I don't like long introductions. I'm just gonna get right into the reading. So I'm gonna do a little shuffle before we get into it. What we got going on? Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit more information on this Six of Pentacles. Give me some information on this Six of Pentacles. So we have somebody who is working on a project that may have to do with community building. There might be somebody out here who helps people. What is it called? When they do like funds, community organizing to help people get funds. Could you give me more about the Chariot? Keep moving forward with this energy. You're gonna have a lot of emotional stability moving forward with this. Somebody's doing like GoFundMe's and talking and somebody's working really hard. I don't know if this is a business, because I don't even know how you would do a business like this, but somebody's actually trying to help those who are having a hard time with finances. Give me some information on this Ace of Cups in reverse and this Ace of Pentacles, because I'm confused. No emotional stability. Okay, so I get it. So somebody's having a hard time emotionally when it comes to this type of work, but you are still being blessed with stability. And you're being like very stern in this, even though emotionally it's taking a toll on you. You're not walking away, because it's not only that you're trying to, or this person, I can't say it's you, maybe it's somebody that you know. It's not only that this person is trying to like stick in there, they're getting stability. Like this person is the stability bringer. Could you help me understand the Strength in reverse? Don't confuse foolishness for courage, because it's not the same thing. I don't know why somebody would be criticized on giving to others. I think somebody needs to be very careful with their emotional stability. Give me more about this. But somebody is big boss. Somebody got Emperor energy. They got Emperor energy. They got the passion for it. I'm gonna have to ask more about this Strength card and the Fool. But somebody needs to be careful with the judgments that they make. Be careful who you're funding for. I don't even know why that popped up in my head. Like, be careful who you're funding for. There might be somebody out there who's working against the things that you're doing. There might be somebody might be out there working for somebody who's against the things that they're doing. Like, they're doing some teaching. They're doing some, they're in this energy of teaching, and it's not good energy. The teaching is in like this very impulsive, like deceptive lies. So just be careful about who you're giving to, because like in a community, you know those people. You know those people in a community, and that's what you need to start understanding, is that like giving to strangers, absolutely, like if you walking on the street or whatever, but somebody's funding for these people. They're doing GoFundMe's. They're like asking people to donate, and like you got to be really careful. If they're a part of your community, absolutely, but there's somebody out there who's trying to use this against you. And I'm not really sure how. But part of me is thinking that somebody is pretending that they need something that they don't. But also, I don't want to say that and put somebody in jeopardy of not being able to get the funds that they need if they need it. So I just say, vet very carefully. Don't mistake foolishness for courage. Like, just what is it? What they say? Cross your T's and dot your I's in this situation. Give me more about the Emperor. Okay, we got on the Emperor. This is not something that should be done alone. I think that's also why the Ace of Cups is in reverse, because somebody's emotionally draining themselves. I think that there's somebody that donates a lot, like people that also like do the same thing that you do, or do the same thing this person does. It would be best to do things together instead of trying to do it by themselves. Like, that's not like, a lot of people think that's community. That's not community if you're doing it by yourself. You need to get together with others who are doing it, but also be very, very careful who you're connecting with, because somebody might try to pull the wool over your eyes. Don't be so empathetic to the point where you're foolish. Like, vet the process very carefully. You are the giving hand, but you might end up in a situation where you're giving to somebody who really doesn't need it, and they're just cheating the system, or cheating you and cheating other people, and like taking advantage of others, when that money can go to people who actually need it. So you need to start like getting your community together. A lot of people just be thinking like being online and like being like, oh, this person needs help. That's not enough. Like, you need to get out there in your actual community. You need to get to know people. You really do. I know that's not easy, but some of y'all have work to do, and it's not, because you're not going to be able to do this for too long. This is not something that's sustainable, because emotionally it's draining you. You need to be in community with others. You need a hug. You need a helping hand. You need others to be like, all right, you sit this week out, I'm going to do it for this week, and we going to rotate. Like, you need others. You can't just do this by yourself. This is not something that's done on your own. You're very passionate about it, but you're not making sound judgments on how you're doing it. A lot of people think you can do it from your phone, but you need rest. You need rest. You actually need a community with this. And some of y'all are healing from a lot of betrayal as well, and I think that's one of the reasons why this person is trying to do things by themselves. Is because they feel like they've been betrayed before. But it's time to come out of that. Somebody is spending a lot of time in their room, or spending a lot of time away from others, and you need to come out. Like, you need to be around others. You need to create this community that you want. And not just create, because maybe it's not about creating. You might run into somebody who is already a part of the community. Again, you need to vet. Don't be foolish, but you need to vet the process. Listen to people. Listen to what they say. Listen to what everybody agrees to. And if you're not on board, you need to skip that and find somebody else. But you're doing things by yourself. You're very passionate about it. This is something that I think that is supposed to be a part of your journey, but you just need to tweak it a little bit and start talking to other people. Okay, for some reason I got that's the end of that one. This is the first time that's happened. And yeah, this is the first time this has happened where they were like, okay, we're done with that message. And like, I literally saw my hands taking the cards up. Okay, well, what's the next message you got? What else we got for the collective that's watching? That was the first time I saw that. They were like, we're done. Okay. I truly hope whoever is listening, like, that you truly heed the warning. If somebody's getting to the point of like burnout, like, don't be burning yourself out, because then the people who actually do need you won't actually be able to get the help. You need to start collaborating with others who want the same things as you, who want community. And there's nothing wrong with, like, I know this doesn't sound like it, but yeah, you are obligated to your community. If somebody is pouring into you, you're gonna have to find a way to pour into others as well. So yeah, help as much as you can. Somebody give you money, and I'm not saying that you should give money, but there's other things. You can offer comfort. You can offer anything to other people. Like, if you want a community, it can't just be one person giving out some things and one person always receiving. There should be some stake in this. There should, and it doesn't mean that you have to give money back, or give that money back either, because the money is given. Like, we want to help, but you actually have to be a part of that community. Like I'm gonna put my little crystals on there first. Because I'm getting a lot of information from that situation. There's a lot more than just people being in need and people just giving to them. If there's just one person just giving in, like, this is where it's going, there has to be a back and forth. There has to be a community effort, a community conversation. Like, this has to be community. Because what's happening is people are you're just giving with nothing being put back into the community. Like, there has to be equal give and take in this world. You know, I would love to be in a way, I mean, unless if you're a millionaire. If you're a millionaire giving out money, you always making money, you know, then you ain't got to worry about it. But are you a millionaire? Are you a billionaire? No, you're not. And good thing you're not, because most of them don't have good empathy for anybody. Alright. Again, you're not an endless fountain. It would be nice if you were an endless fountain to give to others, but you're not. You have to build the community. Let's say, hey, I give here. You were able to get money at this date. I need you to put something into the community. It doesn't have to be money. There should be an obligation to the community. Let me get a little bit more before I start talking. Give me more about this devil in reverse. Okay, give me more about this emperor. Why did I know this was going to happen? Give me more about the Six of Swords. And then give me something about the Page of Pentacles. 2. Okay. Okay, so we have the devil in reverse, and this has to deal with like very toxic traditions that someone is trying to let go of. It is a very small idea, like somebody's starting to put things together, but this is an idea that, or it's not an idea, it's like, it's not even an epiphany. It's like somebody's gotten some information about the toxicity of tradition, and I think this is something that's going to be very helpful for you moving forward. This is going to be something very helpful for you moving forward, because you need to hold on to this. Just because something has been done a certain way for so long doesn't mean it's not toxic, and doesn't mean you should continue to do it. And there's this emperor energy, someone who has a lot of like boss energy. They do things by themselves. They're the king of their own throne. Like, this person is like one of those people who's just on top of their shit all the time. But there's some type of imbalance in this energy. I'm gonna read for the emperor. I'm gonna read for the emperor, and I'm gonna read for the Two of Pentacles. So let's find the emperor first. The Emperor. Boundaries and structure make us feel safe. The Emperor is full of authority and creates a world full of rules and laws. She is a comforting answer to the chaos of the natural world, but she is rigid and uncompromising on her stony throne. She requires logic and reason above all, and she is unfair to lead, and take the reins to what? Oh, she's unafraid. I'm so sorry. And she is unafraid to lead and take the reins to shape the world around her. Though she lords over a powerful and grand cityscape, the river of life has slowed to a trickle behind her. Protect yourself if you need to. Don't allow others to walk all over you. And don't be afraid to stand up, take charge, and force change. Logic and reason may be the best approach for a particular problem, and by creating some stability in your life, you may be able to release some anxiety. Don't lose touch with your compassion, though. Stubbornness and stoicism, I think that's it, stoicism. Yeah, stoicism will not always be the best answer. Okay. So why do we have the Two of Pentacles here in reverse? Let's see, go to Two of the Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. You're experiencing all the busy challenges of everyday life and handling it gracefully. You're in sync with the rhythms of the world, and every movement and decision feels like a perfectly orchestrated dance. As long as you are adaptable and flexible, you'll be able to continue this dance. So somebody is not in balance when it comes to this Emperor energy. But the Emperor is rigid though and uncompromising when it comes to like creating. So we're gonna ask some more questions. And because for me, if this was about the Emperor being too rigid or too restricting, then the Emperor would be in reverse. So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to talk about the last part of the Emperor story, which was don't allow others to walk all over you, and don't be afraid to stand up and take charge and force change. So yeah, this is about not allowing others to, again, walk all over you. Creating stability is the number one thing. So yeah, somebody is coming out of this idea of like keeping and holding on to toxic traditions. And I think there might be other people in this person's life who do want to walk over this person. They do want to like, I don't want to say necessarily like dictate, but they want this person to bend to their will. And I don't think you should. Don't bend to other people's will. You're doing a great job at what you're doing. You're standing by what you've learned. Like, it's almost like somebody wants you to compromise, but that's not going to help you. That's only going to make you more unbalanced. It's going to make you not allow, but it's going to give wiggle room to these toxic behaviors. Don't give wiggle room to the toxic behavior. It is time for you to, it's time for you to move forward. Why didn't I never mind. Why I thought something else was here, but it wasn't. But it's time for you to move forward, and you have to make a decision. Somebody might be moving away from a Gemini. Somebody might be moving away from a Capricorn. But it's time to move forward and make the decision. And there is some stability that's being offered here. Again, because it's the page, it is very small, but it's something that's going to grow into something big. It's time to let go of these burdens because you're the 10 of Wands. So somebody's carrying all of this weight. You're going to have to see something differently. I think somebody is getting into their phase where they're starting to realize that a lot of the things that we were taught is no longer, it no longer applies. And it also, to this current world that we live in, it no longer applies to this current world that we live in. And it's no longer seen by you or this person as healthy. But there are people in this person's life that want them to continue to be in this energy. But it's almost like this person has like, once this person makes their mind up, they start building and moving in that way. So you're a malleable person. You're somebody who can actually change a lot. So if you have a core value in something, your core value isn't in a thing. It's in how, it's in knowledge. It's in, also in changing when met with knowledge, which is really good. There's going to be a lot of choices and a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made. These things might be heartbreaking for you, but you need to have discernment. Again, if somebody's trying to come and tell you, oh, you're being too strict, you're being too harsh, maybe you need to give this person a chance. And this might be like a father, it might be a son, it might be a sister, it might be a brother, it might be somebody. And you're realizing that, no, I don't want to be a part of that toxic stuff. And just because there's somebody I love doesn't mean I need to put down my own defenses or get off of my throne for somebody who wants to hurt and harm me, or who doesn't care if they hurt or harm me. And so, because sometimes people move in a way where it's not intentional, but they still don't care, and that's still enough for you to walk away and not be a part of their bullshit. But we have the 7 of Cups, so somebody has a lot of decisions to make, and I feel like somebody's trying to figure out what to do in this situation. You just have to have discernment, and I know that sounds easier said than done. But you have to figure out what's going to be the best solution for you. And the people, let's say, because I feel like some people may have some young ones, and what's going to be best for you and the young ones that you're supposed to be protecting. Be aware of, not aware, but be careful not to go into this energy of just cutting everybody off. Somebody might be like, oh, fuck it, fuck everybody, fuck you, your mama, your sister, your brother. Be careful not to go into this energy, because you still want your community. Maybe not community with this toxic motherfucker, but there's still community to be had. You don't want to cut off everybody and be reckless because of something that you went through. You know, like if somebody's going through a heartbreak, they're like, fuck everybody. I think you slow your roll. Slow your roll. You need community, baby. Unless those people are actually, you know, being abusive and being, you know, neglecting. You know, some people are just neglectful. You know, if you have to walk away from a situation or a family because, you know, all of them are a part of it or they excuse the behavior, then you got to do what you got to do. But this energy is giving off more so like, nobody loves me, fuck y'all bitches, I don't give a shit, I'm cutting everybody off. And you gotta be careful because not everybody deserves to be cut off. You might be cutting off people you really need in your corner. Like, you don't want to cut everybody off. I understand the want and the need to. I truly do. From the bottom of my heart, I understand it. You got some emotional fulfillment coming through, but you have the Eight of Cups in reverse. So like, it's almost like someone is still trying not to walk away or trying not to look for what's going to help them feel emotionally stable. Give me some more on this Eight of Cups in reverse. So somebody's not transforming the way that they're supposed to. So someone's not transforming the way they're supposed to. They're not even like trying to grieve properly. The Five of Cups for me, upright, is like, you know, what people say, crying over spilled milk and stuff like that. But in reverse, in this instance, it feels like somebody doesn't want to look at the pain. And therefore they're not actually moving towards what's going to help them, and that's transforming. Like this person's gonna have to feel the pain. They're gonna have to actually, and I don't mean like pain is not something. It's not something that's always necessary. But when you experience a loss, when you experience something that's just like, oh, this is no longer fulfilling for me. When you experience that side, the pain is not the thing that's going to push you through it, you know. It's, you know, your hope at the end that's going to push you through it. But you have to go through the transformation. Ignoring it is not going to take you there. Some people don't want to look at it. Some people don't want to do what's necessary. And it's because it's hard. It's not easy to like go through so much pain. Yeah, I understand the need to ignore it, baby. 100% I understand the need to ignore it. I'm no longer going to clarify cards. I'm going to just read. So we have somebody again. Somebody doesn't want to fight. They don't want to fight. And like, I don't think you should fight people, but for me it seems like somebody doesn't want to see things for what it is. Somebody doesn't want to see things for what it is. They don't want to have to, you know, fight against everybody. And like, sometimes you're gonna have to. Not to say that you should cut off everybody, but sometimes you're gonna have to speak your mind. You're gonna have to speak your mind and be the odd man out for a little bit. Speak your mind. Get the stuff off your chest. You're very passionate about something, but you're like holding your tongue, and you don't want to defend yourself. You don't want to stand your ground. And I get it, because the shit is toxic, but you're gonna put yourself in a very like imbalanced role if you don't say something. Like, say something, stand up, and then move away from the energy. There are some people who want you back with, and when I say back with this person, this might be like a sibling, this might be a friend. Like, some people be like, you know, that's your friend, like, y'all should work it out. And if they backstab, why the hell should you? Why the hell should you? Don't be playing nice with people who don't want the best for you, or who like are actively harming you. Or people who just don't give a fuck if they harm you. And it has to do with something sneaky. Somebody was very sneaky in their decision. They held back. And it might have been something that was yours. Somebody even might have been like stealing from you and holding on to it. You know, it's so funny. Like, when I was young, it's not funny. But my mom, our family used to come by and like steal her shit like all the time. And like, this was like a common thing, but she will always allow them back into her home. She will always tell them where she lives. She will always just like be open. And she always had this idea that, oh, family, family, family. And yes, like some family, but if you know that every single time you let your family over, they steal, you need to stand your ground. I know some people don't want to because it's a hard thing to do, but that's what you need to do. Stand your ground. It's not about cutting everybody else. It's often saying fuck it all. No, it's about being discerning and being fair in your decisions. You actually have to be discerning. You got to stand up for yourself. Yeah, there's no, this person that, you're realizing that you have to separate yourself from, somebody who has very toxic, this might even be like a grandparent, someone who has very toxic, like, energy. They're not really bringing anything emotionally stable to the table in the first place. Like, I don't think that's their goal. Can you give me some more in this Knight of Cups in reverse? I'm getting this person doesn't really care. Like, they don't really hold your or this person's emotions. They are not trying to safeguard or safe keep this person's emotions. Nine of Pentacles. Someone feels like, not that they're isolated, but someone has this very weird idea of independence. Like, this person doesn't show emotions, and because they have this weird idea of what independence, like, they have this pride in this not showing of emotions, in this being independent. Like, I can do better on my own. I'm not, but the thing is, this person isn't like that for real though. That's the thing. That's the thing. This person makes it seem like they got it out the mud. They did everything by themselves. Nobody helps them. Blase, blase, blase. And they don't follow through with the emotional love that they say that they have with other people. This person has a very skewed view of themselves. This person who has this toxic behaviors have a very skewed view of themselves. They think other people owe them, and they don't owe anybody else anything. They don't owe other people. Yeah. This person is responsible for a lot of the, like, not everything, but it's this person and other people like them who are responsible for a lot of the, like, not struggles per se, but the instability in this dynamic with these other people. Like, they feel like people owe them, but they don't need to give back. And this is what's causing instability, because nobody else says anything about it. Nobody else calls them out. Everybody lets them. Everybody lets this person do this, and they cause havoc and, like, chaos in other people's lives. And I'm getting, like, people being left out and stuff, and some of y'all may have been left out of something, and it's because of this person, and this is what made y'all be like, yeah, like, fuck it, fuck y'all, and y'all not gonna say nothing about it. So I'm gonna cut all y'all bitches off. It's not everybody though, that's the thing. It's not everybody who's okay with this. There are some people who are not okay with it, but if you haven't talked to them, then you wouldn't know. You actually have to talk to them to know that. It's not everybody, but you do need to stand your ground and not be afraid. I think that the collective is afraid of being outcasted from this entire group in this situation. If they speak up about this person, which, that can happen. But there are some people that will be on your side. It's not just you won't be by yourself the whole time. There's other people who think what happened is a problem. They don't agree with the decisions that were made. Whew. There's gonna be a lot of fighting. And you need to stand your ground. But the fighting, not the fighting itself, but when you find out who's fighting for you, who's in your corner, it's going to help you heal. But unfortunately, there are going to be some, like, sleepless nights and some grieving when you realize that you've put in a lot to something that wasn't ever going to give back to you. And that's a part of holding people in positions of power accountable for their actions. I think a lot of people have a hard time looking at people and saying, actually, you no longer have the authority because of how you've been moving for X amount of time. You're actually causing more of an imbalance for the group than you are helping the group. And sometimes you do have to fight for your right. Sometimes you do have to stand up and fight for what's right. If nobody's fighting for it, it's never going to happen. So I'm going to ask if there's anything else. Anything else you want to say to the collective before I close this out? Anything else? Yeah, you'll avoid the tower if you have the conversations, because what you're really afraid of is being left out. Yeah, you need to Listen to your higher self. Your higher self knows that you don't need to be running away from the other people in this dynamic. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself, because it'll help you avoid a tower. You know this person isn't giving out what and this apology that they're giving is bullshit, and you need to call it out, and call it out in a way that's like, look, you always apologize, you always say this stuff, and you do the same thing over and over and over and over again. You don't actually change. You got to listen to yourself. Other people will agree with you. That's the thing. But if you don't say anything, some of these people are just too passive. There's some people who want to say something, but they feel like, oh, well, this person didn't say nothing, so like I don't want to step over somebody's boundaries and say something when this person hasn't said anything to me about it. Stand up for yourself, speak up, and make sure that this person who's moving in this very toxic dynamic and toxic way, make sure that they don't have any more power if you can help it. You know, if you can't help it, there's nothing that you can do. But we need to have a conversation about why we allow people who do bad things to still have control over everybody. You know, we give them too much grace in a time when we shouldn't, because this motherfucker needs to be exiled. Not to say that you should let them starve and be in poverty and all this other stuff, but this person doesn't need to be a part of the growing of the group. Help them if you have to. Like this, if this is a family, because I'm getting a family dynamic. If this is a family dynamic, you know, this person can receive their help, but here and there. But don't let them be a part of the things that's going to help y'all grow. Don't let them on information that's going to help y'all bond, because they're going to sabotage you every single time. And y'all need to start having these conversations without this person. You know, this is not about gossiping about anybody. This is about what's going to be better and more healthier for the family moving forward. And if there's anybody in the group that goes back and talks to this person, then they're on that side too. You need to let them go too. It's not about cutting out everybody. You don't want to be this person. It's about making sure you have the right people in your corner so that you actually have stability in your family. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. I will see you on the next one.